All right. I think good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am seeing all sorts of, well, not all sorts of problems. If you are on YouTube, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I do think I was playing around with some settings. Um, I don't know if Twitch will be a bit unstable. It looks like it's going 10,000 to Twitch when it should be 6. And I do have YouTube set for 10. I know it can take more, but I don't know. I changed a few things here. So Sunday, Sunday was a nightmare. Sunday the stream crashed 3 times. First time was an hour plus into the stream. Um, and That's that. I'm on Windows, so I'm on Windows right now. We're testing Windows now. Tonight, I'm going to test um, my Linux setup. The same thing's happening on both. I'm hoping that it's not my card that's going. I mean, I just got it. It's a brand new card. It was a new one. It wasn't used, wasn't refurbished. Just got it in January. An RTX 4060. Really odd that the same thing is happening in the same way on Windows and Linux. So as I'm streaming, the desktop just goes blank. We get, it's still working. The monitors are working. The computer hasn't shut down. If I have music going, everything's still working in the background, but no desktop displays. So driver issue, yes, maybe. A Windows update issue, yes, maybe. But then doing the exact same thing on Linux. Exact. Desktop goes. So everything else is running, but once the desktop goes, OBS stops. But yet, StreamerBot was still working. I was still sending cross messages back and forth to YouTube and Twitch. So I have not a flipping clue of what could be going on. I start thinking, well, maybe it's the card. Maybe I should pull it out, blow it out, reseat it, not reseat it, put it back in. That would be my next step. But I have not had something like this, like OBS has crashed or something like that. That'll go on. That'll happen. So I did some changing around too. Like I was cleaning up my area while I was like redoing some things, and also not sure if it's the Nvidia driver. Tried rolling them back. It I use the Studio driver on Windows. Don't have a choice between the two on Linux. But let's see on it was an update, and I did a complete clean install. I had it remove everything and install everything. Took several reboots for me to kind of like get back in. So we'll see. As I was kind of getting ready to stream, all of a sudden, like, dirt on my head. Oh man, get the mark of the devil. What the heck's on my head here? Just say right up in here. There we go. Where did the hell that come from? Dirt everywhere. I cleaned my desk. I did it. I used to have above me the monitor and that, but it was getting harder and harder for me to see that. This one. There we go. So I can see that the laptop and that is moved over to here. Since I don't use it much, I might say, maybe I'll try my version of DJing. I guess would have to get a new thing for Twitch. I don't know since I have all my albums back there. But I moved the turntable down to here. Since I don't use it, and I put the laptop here so that way I can keep an eye on the stream. And I'm seeing on YouTube that it's dead. So we're gonna take a look at YouTube. Won't go in the studio. I'll just go to my channel and see if the stream is there. So yeah, I see myself on the stream there. Here's the desktop right. But the stream keeps, look at that. What is going on? Oh, my. It's not working, but the stream is not working. So what did I messed up something here. Not be a long stream anyway, mostly testing. I'm kind of hoping it crashes. When the desktop goes, OBS will say, "Oh, it's not OBS's fault." OBS won't cause a desktop crash, but maybe there's something in the log. I try to look over the logs. There's a lot of information in the logs. Get out of there. And if I look at desktop left here, you'll notice that here usually this will say 6,000 on man, YouTube is just looking like shit. The multiple output, this is what I use YouTube for, or multiple stream with YouTube. But OBS is originally set up for Twitch. But that is insane. What though anybody's watching in YouTube land. Wow. All right, let's take a look at Twitch here, even though I have it on. It looks good over there. We won't go to the studio, we'll go to my channel. So we're looking good there. I'm actually sending probably too much to Twitch right now. And it's Twitch must have reduced it because it's at 720. We have it going out at 1080. What the fudge? Okay. May just stop Twitch's stream for now. because I can't change any of the settings once I'm streaming. And I can't see what I'm sending it out at. Hello, Tony. Welcome to the Wednesday shit show. How are you, buddy? I've been having all sorts of issues, both on Windows and on Linux. The same exact thing. Who would have thunk? Let's see if I can get some music going. So I can hear some music, just something else. We'll see if I can stress this out and cause a crash, and then I'll open a thing in the OBS Discord forum. I'll do one for Windows. Let's see. Don't mind me. I'm so thoroughly aggravated. But Sunday we crashed 3 times. You're being punished by Windows for being on Linux and Linux for being on Windows. Bastards. Bastards.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Oh. So and then I noticed on Linux too that all of a sudden I was getting a lot of drop frames. Yeah, there's no way to win. It's like it's having two wives. At least my shout outs work. Total S today. I have no idea. I don't know if it's Windows updates. I don't know if it's driver updates. I don't know if my card is going. I am getting the same exact crap crashing on Windows as I am on Linux and vice versa. Oh God, no. What is bad enough? I've been married twice, so. Oh, so yeah, Carmine, I don't know what's going on. Just the whole desktop will just, and it happened to me 3 times on Sunday. So trying to, again, is it so on Linux? What is it the Nvidia driver? But again, the Dome desktop will just disappear. And when that happens, OBS will crash it, but then the other stuff will stay up. Sunday, I was still hearing music. I can't believe I have no issues with the new Ubuntu and AMD. Oh, well. Tony made a big mistake 53 years ago. No. So I'm just doing. And right before I went live, it did it again. So on Windows, I redid the drivers. I had it remove the old drivers completely and do a complete reset. But on the Linux side, I'm thinking, well, am I really? Hello, JJ. I have an Nvidia card, and the only issue I have is when I log in, the monitor signal drops out for a few seconds and then comes back. Other than that, it's a good card. Yeah, I have a 4060. I have a 4060. For Linux, I'm told Nvidia is not a good mirror. You know what? Yeah, like the AMD people, you know, I've been on an Nvidia card, or I started out with a 1080 GTX 1080, went to a 1660, and now I'm on an RTX 4060. I have not had, there was some issues. I know Joe keeps bringing up about, oh, I would have to go in and do all this stuff, and you don't have to do that with NVIDIA anymore. There's no screen tearing and stuff like that. It's all pretty good, But AMD on the Windows side, I just might give up Linux again as far as streaming. But I can't figure out what is going on with both the systems. I really, really can't. It's in, doing a search. So I thought maybe being on Arch and the Bleeding Edge, I actually got, I'm like, okay, so what do I want to do? Sometimes the driver, or not the driver, sometimes the plugins don't get updated in the AUR, right? So what do I want to do that's, where the drivers are updated and all that? Okay, I'm gonna throw in another SSD in my system. Yeah, I mean AMD really is nothing to it. There's no the Nvidia remover and all that. I mean, like the background, look how good this is. The background's removed. And I do have a plugin over on Linux that does a social job and doesn't use a lot of resources. But NVIDIA is probably really more made for Windows. So I can't switch cards when I go to Linux, and I'm not about to kind of do that. Going back to Linux was like I look at me see the stuff that I can do. And now I'm tired of it. I'm like but the same exact issue. Desktop will disappear. Well, how can it be for both? Does driver mess up that bad on both? Is it ended? So I threw in another SSD and I started rebuilding a setup on Zorin 18, which actually went well on the install. Um, your 5070 works fine, except on during a login. I will notice that once in a while, not too often. But going on anything outside, you know, if you really, it's not, if Nvidia and Wayland has made up. Wayland's ready, security wise, and that's you know, the X11 when it comes down to it is extremely unsecure. But you know, when I went to Zone, I go, oh, that's right, they still have X11. I don't like the way it's themed too much. I changed a lot of the stuff. I hate their icons. Linux Mint is the same way. I hate their icons. But I installed OBS through the PPA. I just got StreamerBot installed. I have to move that stuff over. But I'm like, okay, I sometimes have to struggle a little bit with keeping things updated on Endeavor OS because of the AUR. As far as plugins and that go, well, you know, best being on the Ubuntu side of things. So I had decided, you know, Zorin just to me is the same as Pop OS was. But we'll see. And now they're probably, you know, I won't be touching anything, and all of a sudden, boom. The only thing that I could think of is you know, like as far as Wayland goes, what, you know, typical Linux, typical open source. We're going to this direction, and that's going to be it. But it's going to be, from what I understand, several years before the like Ceph, the Chromium Embedded Framework, where you get your custom browser docs and that through OBS. I have no clue how all that works. But I guess it's a big deal for the Chromium Embedded Frameworks set up to get Wayland in there. But you know, and I'm not gonna go back to just plain old streaming. That sucks. That's bogus. Well, after 20 years, I use what worked. Chromebooks remain perfect Linux, but limited. Wayland is 20 years old. Embarrassing. That's open source. There's no proprietary, there's nothing behind it to make it move faster. You know, as much as open source is you can get so many cool things, and you got Linux and all that. Wayland is just more secure. It's why like some of the portals don't work, and there's some workarounds in that. But X11 is like way too old. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I will, you know, as far as streaming and what I do, what I like to do, I'm not going to go backwards and go, well, just so I could be on Linux, I'm not going to do this, that, and the other. I'm not going to use my fancy stuff. Sounds like you're suffering with two lots of OS problems by using both Windows and Linux. Yeah. Well, I wanted to kind of prove something that I can kind of do it and get as close to a streaming equality. How I stream on Linux and how I stream on Windows. But I mean, the whole issue there is what is going on with the desktop. Why are the two being exactly the same? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. But some of the things that I did learn setting up Linux, I can apply to Windows. I can replace some things. I can replace the voice control and all that and use something else besides SpeakerBot and